Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark, where it's all about racing. In this episode, we're going to take a look at a JDC Miller Motorsports Cadillac number 85 DPi, that which competed in the 24 Hours of Daytona in 2020. Now, for those of you that follow JDC Motorsports, you know that they've always fielded yellow cars. The team actually was founded back in 1994, but it wasn't until 2014 the team made its debut in what is now the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Challenge. In 2017, the team would field its first prototype, and in 2018 field two cars, both Oreca 07s, both of them yellow. Now, it wasn't until 2019 that the team would field its first Caddilac DPi VR. And in 2020, the number 85 Caddilac DPi would finish fifth at the 24 Hours of Daytona, with the drivers Tristan Vautier of France, Chris Miller of the United States, Matthias List of Brazil, and Juan Piedrahita of Colombia. God, I hope I got that right. Anyhow, and so that is this car. Now, this car is a Spark 143 scale model. Comes mounted on this dark gray wooden base. Has an acrylic jewel cover, as you can see there. The outer box of it, and this is what they would call a slipcase box, where the car slips out either side of it real easily, is adorned with the stripes and the stars of the United States, as this car competed in the 24 Hours of Daytona. The back of it has a rendition of the American flag, and if you flip this thing upside down, it has your typical Spark Mini Max licensing and barcodes and all the rest of that stuff that you see on these cars. Well, guys, I got to tell you, the DPIs were my favorite prototypes. They were developed for IMSA competition back in 2017, and alkylation would be used for a minimum of 4 years, 2017 through 2020, to allow manufacturers time to capitalize on their investments. They would get 6 years until 2023, thank God. Production-based engines would be utilized in the class, and turbochargers would be available for 4 and 6-cylinder engines. Sonic air restrictors would be used with naturally aspirated engines. Manufacturers would be required to commit with both an engine and bodywork package in alliance with selected chassis builders. Now, the DPIs had a power output of about 620 kilowatts and a top speed of 200 miles per hour. And manufacturers would not be required to sell any chassis to customers. Now, the JDC Miller Motorsports car was one of those customer cars from the folks at GM or Cadillac. Well, the DPIs were initially planned to be eligible for Le Mans, but conflicts with IMSA and the ACO ended any DPIs racing at Le Mans. The DPIs are designated by black number panels and white leader lights, unlike other classes with specific colored number panels matching with windscreen banner, mirror, rear wing end plates, and leader lights. That is something that they did not do with the DPi class. Now, the Cadillac chassis was built by Dallara, and the body panels would scream Cadillac. The engine was a mid-mounted 6.2-liter V8 making 600 horsepower and a red line of 7,600 RPMs. And of course, X-Track supplied the 6-speed gearbox. Now, the Cadillac brand would be dominant in the IMSA Michelin Cup Endurance Series, winning in 2017, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And Meyer Shank Racing Acura would win the championship in the final year of 2022. Now, this cool car is really, really sharp looking. I just love the yellow finish. And of course, I've already done a video of the Porsche 963 in yellow that I have from the same team. This will be their second car that I have in my collection, even though this car came out earlier. And believe it or not, I've been sitting on this particular model for about a year. I bought this at Petit Le Mans last year, and it's taken a year virtually to get around to reviewing this and getting it to you guys. And quite frankly, as you know, I don't open these cars until I review them. They are sealed in the box, and I've got a backdrop about 30 cars right now. Anyhow, this one absolutely exudes Spark. I mean, look at that front splitter, the carbon fiber finish on it, the dive planes, the headlights, very, very impressive. You do have a number of aerials right near the cabin. Of course, you can see the tow hook right there below the number 85 number panel. And notice you've got running lights here on the cockpit. Very, very interesting. Right in between the windshield wiper. You've got open air fenders on here, and you can really see all the bolts for the chassis and everything else, even though they have removable panels on all these cars, as they do, because they commonly get wrecked. Now, this is a side view, I guess, of what you would call the passenger side, even though there is no second seat in these cars. And as you can see clearly on the top there, they have the names of all the drivers that I had mentioned previously, right below the air scoop. It's really nice that, the detail work. Take a look at this little tiny manufactured piece that actually fits in there. That's not just colored, and it's actually cut out and fit in there. And those are for the hinges for the door panels. Spark does a really nice job with that. And here's a cool look at the side. And if you take a look at all the Cadillac models that I have, no matter what the livery is, they all scream Cadillac with this same sort of livery here on the side of it, as well as the center divider, whatever you want to call it, the dolphin fin, excuse me. There we go. I know I'd get it out. Now here's a cool look at the back of the car. And as you can see, if you take a real close look at this is just number 26 out of 300 built. And guys, if you pick these cars up and they are still available, I mean, they don't make these in tens of thousands like they do Formula One cars. They make these in hundreds. So there aren't a whole lot of these out here. And they don't make these for every single race the car competed in as they do in Formula One. I mean, my God, you can get Red Bull Formula One cars, and I've got a bunch of them practically for nothing because they've made 20, 30, 40, 50,000 of them, all just in 1 year, even though they may be a little bit different. Anyhow, this car is just limited to 300. Take a look at the back here. You can see the cool exhausts as they stick out of the rear engine nodule, and there's a cool look at the nice carbon fiber rear wing that you have on it. And all the carbon fiber trim all along the back of it is just really sharp. I love the tail lights. I mean, Spark just do a phenomenal job with these cars. They're just absolutely amazing. And here's a look at the car from the top. I guess you could call it a helicopter view, so to speak. Absolutely beautiful. I think really sharp. I love this car. The interior detail on it is actually very, very good. You can see all the padding around the seat and the steering wheel in there. It's really hard to see inside the car. I'd love to take one of these things apart someday just to see what it looks like. You'd be amazed, because I actually have. I have broken a couple of cars over the past couple of years, and as I typically do if I break a car, I just take it apart so I can see what it looks like inside. And I was surprised even at the detail level of even an IXO model in the interior. It was just amazing. Speaking of detail levels, here's a look at where the input jack is for the air hose. And look at the pull lever, which you can see right there I pointed out just a moment ago. There is one fragile part you do not want to touch. That thing would be gone in a heartbeat. That is one of the reasons I never remove these cars from the bases. Almost never. I have done that in a few cases, and every time I've done it, I've absolutely ruined the car by breaking something on it. So guys, just my recommendation is, unless you store these things off of the bases, don't remove them. The problem is not getting the car off the base. The problem is getting the car back on the base. I don't even know how the Chinese do it. But I got to tell you, the Chinese do a great job on these cars. They are true works of art, and the Chinese are artisans. I thank you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at Petit Le Mans next week.